Making your own chips or French fries from scratch is a really great thing to do. There's absolutely no need to be going out buying chips or buying special oven chips that you keep in the freezer. So save your freezer space for something more important and use your Instant Pot Duo Crisp to make up some lovely crispy chips. Now, I've been hearing from a few people that they've been having some trouble making chips from scratch in the Instant Pot Duo Crisp air fryer basket. So I just wanted to share with you 5 of the things I do when I'm making up some chips in the Instant Pot, in the hope that one or all of them might help you on your quest for making the perfect chunky chip. So my first tip is about using the right kind of potato. So here in the UK, a really widely available potato that makes a lovely chip is the Maris Piper, and the Maris Piper is what's called a floury potato. So it contains a higher amount of starch and a lower amount of water, and what that does is it makes for a really crispy chip on the outside, but they're still lovely and soft on the inside. And another one that works really well is the King Edward potato. And then in other countries these particular potatoes might not be available, so I've done a little bit of research looking at the main kind of countries that watch my videos, and it seems to me that for the US, for Canada and for Australia, New Zealand, one of the best potatoes for making your chips in the air fryer is the russet potato. So that might be a russet Burbank, or it might be a russet with another name after it. And I think sometimes these are also called Idaho potatoes. So do your best to get hold of one of those. And if none of those varieties are available for you locally, do a little bit of research or ask your greengrocer and find out which floury potatoes might be available to you. So my second tip is that when you're cutting up the chips, try and get them as consistent a size as possible. And how this helps is that everything is going to cook at the same time, so you haven't got some that are starting to be on the turn and burning whilst others are nowhere even near cooked. So you end up with some of them stuck to the air fryer basket and some of them completely burnt. So as much as possible, cut them near enough the same size. And I had a lovely tip the other day from one of my subscribers, which was if you're doing something like this and you've only got small amounts of potato left over because you want the chips to be the same size, you could use the dehydrator function for this very small batch and get it dehydrated and add to your already existing vegetable bouillon that you made earlier. And if you don't know how to make vegetable bouillon, take a look at my video that shows you how to do that in a dehydrator or a small batch in the Instant Pot Duo Crisp. And then my third tip is that once you've got them all cut up, give them a rinse and then let the chips soak in a bit of water for just 3 to 5 minutes so that some of that starch on the outside comes off and into the water. And then once you've given them a soak, pour them onto a clean dish towel and give them a really good dry. So really get in there and make sure that all of the surfaces of the chips are as dry as can be, so that when you move on to the next stage, you're going to get a really even coating of the oil. And then my fourth tip is, I've never had much luck with this sort of spray on oil method when you're making chunky chips. So what I do is just put a small amount of oil into a bowl and then pour in those lovely dry chips and then give them a good old stir, or get your hands in there and make sure that each chip has a nice even coating of oil. And you'll be surprised how little oil you need to do this. So get them all nicely coated, season them with whatever you like, but as a minimum season them with some salt, and I like to use flaky sea salt for that, but you choose. So at this point they're now ready for cooking, and depending on how big you've cut them, chips will take anywhere between 15 minutes and probably 25 minutes. So you'll put them into the air fryer basket. The air fryer basket goes into the inner bowl, and then put on your air fryer lid and set that timer. And then tip number 5 is that halfway through whatever cooking time you've chosen, you'll find that the Instant Pot beeps, and it's giving you a beep to say now is the time to shake the basket. Now, sometimes when you go in at that stage, you'll go to shake the basket and you'll find that the chips aren't actually moving, they're still stuck to the basket. If this happens to you, don't go in there with the fish slice or start trying to kind of scrape them off the bottom. Instead, put that air fryer lid right back on and let them cook for another 5 minutes, and then try again to shake them. Because sometimes when we're frying food and it's sticking to the pan, it's because it's it's not quite reached that point where the crispiness has come and it allows the food to release from the surface. So instead of straight away trying to kind of scrape them up, put the lid back on, let it go for another 5 minutes and then try shaking it again. And 9 times out of 10, I find that if I've done that, then they will come away. So don't give up, keep going, try out some of these tips and find which are the ones that give you that magic formula that means that you can cook up your chunky chips reliably every time. And look away if you're keto, but then you can have a chip butty whenever you like. So I hope that's useful for you. And if you like this video, there's some more playlists for the Instant Pot and the Instant Pot Duo Crisp. So do go have a look at those. And I'll see you next time.